I'm back out here again today working on this trailing point knife. I'm going to start cleaning it up and get all the scale off of it. And I'm going to go ahead and get it ready for heat treating. I've got this knife ready for heat treating, almost. I've got to get it bigger. I've got to go get another pin. Right here there's going to be a lanyard hole, and I don't want to drill that hole until I got the pin I'm going to use. But I've got it smoothed out. Got the edge started on it, and it kind of gives an idea of what it's going to look like. So, as soon as I get that, we'll be ready for heat treatment. On this trailing point knife that I've been making, I've got it. Of course, I've got it cleaned up, and I got that hole drilled in there for that pin. It'll be just for a lanyard hole. It looks a little big right now, but it's not really all that big. So for the handle, I'm going to be doing bone handle with some aluminum bolsters. So what I'm using for the bone, because I've had to take one of my deer antlers that I had and had to split it. I'm hoping that it's going to be big enough by the time I get done, because they want it to be a slick bone and they want it different color. And I'm hoping by the time I get that sanded down where it needs to be, I still got enough to use. If it don't work the first time, I'll just do it again until it does work. That old bone dust, it stinks. Oh. I've got them down where they're setting flush on the handle, and as you can see, I just barely had enough. Barely. Which it's not going to look like it whenever I get done with it. It's going to be the shape of the handle on this, but anywho, just barely had enough to cover that tang. So I've got to be very precise whenever I go to put the pins and set that on there. Now, they want it to be yellow bone, so I've got to dye this bone after I get it shaped up. And which I've dyed bone before. I've dyed antler and bone, but I had never dyed one yellow. So this we have to experiment to get this to about the color of yellow that the person's wanting it. So I'm going to get me a test piece here, and I'm going to start testing out on dyeing it. See if I can get it close to that yellow. I'll do that first, because I don't want to mess up the handle once I get the handle fitted on there. I don't want to mess it up and have to do it over again. I want to make sure I'm going to have it right the first time. I got my little piece cut off that same antler, that same set of racks. And I want it to be want to know what the color is going to be. That's why I take it off the same set. It's just like buying shingles for your house. You want to buy all the shingles that you need for it at one time, because if you don't have enough and you go back to get more, you might be buying the same color, but they will not match. How many of y'all knew that? And the reason they don't match is because at the factory, when they run them all at one time. When they get done, they start in a new batch, and they're always different. Same way with brick for your house too. Alright, I got that sanded down to where it's white. Got all the outer layer off of it. Now I'm gonna fix me up some of this red dye, and I'm gonna see how well that'll work. Alrighty now, I mixed up a little bit of that red dye and put it in an old spaghetti sauce jar I had. And I dipped that antler in, and it made it yellow. And I think I'm satisfied with that one. That dye, it looks like it's colored orange in the bottle, but then there's the bone, there's the antler. It turned it a pretty yellow. I don't like yellow, but I reckon if a person likes yellow, that's probably pretty. It's a really good yellow though. I'm going to be heat treating this trailing point knife today, getting it ready for the fit and finish. Hopefully it won't take too long to get it finished up now. I've got this trailing point knife heat treated now and hardened up. I got my maker's mark in there. I'm ready to start cleaning it back up and finishing the bevel on it, and then I'll start doing the finish work on it. I'm done working on that blade for right now. There's after I put the finishing touches on it. I hadn't sharpened the edge yet, but I'll get that last thing. I've run it through the buffing wheel. Got it shined up pretty good. And right now I'm working on the bolsters. Fixing to take the other one out. Alright, so now I'm ready to drill the holes through the bolsters. Now I'm using clear packing tape this time to hold that on there. No special reason, I just didn't have any other tape. But I do like being able to see the holes when I go to drill it, instead of having trying to search for them. Now, we'll spin that around, that way if it does grab it, it won't hurt me. The way I should have had it to start with. Now I'll get the other one and I'll go ahead and tape it on there with that one. And I'll come in from the other side and drill those holes. And I'll get that taped up real quick. Got the other side taped on. I've got to come in through the other side and drill down through that one. I tape it up. The reason I tape it up so I can keep them on there even and get them holes right. Because if you don't get your holes drilled right, you'll never get your pins through them. Look, I've got my pins cut. I cut them a little bit long usually, just know that I've got enough room to work with. I'll slide them in the handle first, the tank. Then I'll try to remember how this goes. Sometimes them pins can be a little stubborn. Just give them a little bit of twist, and they'll go right in there. That's what we want them. We want them to be good and tight and have a good fit. So don't want to go and start wallering out the holes trying to make them fit better. So now it slides right on there. So I'll get that epoxied up, squeezed together, and set them pins. And I'll start putting this epoxy in there. He's alright. I can take my time. It's 5-minute epoxy. That's a joke, y'all know that, right? Means I need to hurry up. Okay, now I've got that. Squeeze it together. Now I got them pins cut, and I'm going to go ahead and set them. And put this back in the vise and let it set up. And that's really all it takes to get those set. I'm going to go ahead and grind them pins down flush with these bolsters. Now I'm going to go ahead and start working on them handle scales. Now I've got that one side taped on there. I'm ready to drill the holes for it. I've got to use my piece of wood to hold it flat, because this antler bone, well, it's round and I want to keep them holes straight. I'll repeat that with the rest of the holes. So one of the things I like to do whenever I'm doing handle scales like this, where you've got two sides that, well, they're just an odd shape. Whenever I'll get that on there, once I get the holes drilled through the first one, I'll go ahead and I'll come and I'll get 2 more holes started, and then run my pins through. That way it'll hold everything straight for when I drill the rest of my holes. I want them to line up whenever I go to put this all together. I don't want to have to fight with it. So now I've got this handle, putting it together. We'll clamp it up, let it set overnight, and I'll come back tomorrow and finish it up. Now whenever I get done with this, it ain't gonna look nowhere near what it looks like right now. Old doggies, they tired. We had a storm last night. Kept them up. They didn't get no sleep, didn't get no rest. So I let this set overnight, and I cut the pins off. Came out this morning, cut the pins off, and I set them. And now it's time to start shaping that handle up. It's not gonna look nothing like it does now. It's gonna look much different when I get done with it. My lanyard pin put in there now. And I'm gonna go ahead and start taking it down. So in case anybody was wondering why whenever I first put this handle on, why I left everything so bulky and sticking out and everything and way down here and all that. It's because I could cut everything to match it and just put it on like that, but if I was to mess up and I cut too much of something off or not enough, or you know, it makes it easier to bring it down to the shape on one of these knives. Because if I was to cut too much off, then I'd have to start all over again. But like this, the way I did it that way is I can just take everything down to where it needs to be. Now, I've been sanding on this one side. See if you can tell the difference. There's my hand sanding, and there's from the belt sander. Now I just hope whenever I get done sanding on this and I go to add the dye to it, I hope that it comes out looking as good as that test piece. Alright, now I'm done sanding on it. I'm ready to see if I can get this handle dyed yellow. I'm hoping that it comes out looking yellow. That bone didn't come out as white as I wanted it to, or was hoping it would. I'll just hold it in there for a second, and then I might let it soak. Oh yeah, that's gonna look good. I'm gonna let it soak for a little while. So there it is. We got a yellow bone handle. Now I let that sit there and soak in that dye for about 10 minutes. And now, what I'm fixing to do next is I'm going to use this boiled linseed oil. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use this boiled linseed oil to seal that handle. Also, boiled linseed oil, it'll also help pull the the colors out in your handle a little bit more, whether you're using bone or wood. But it'll seal it up and make it water resistant. So then after that, we'll use the true oil again, the gun stock finish, to put the final touch on it. Now on this making that dye, I used RIT dye, just RIT dye from the grocery store. And if you plan on making any dye with it, I'd suggest putting a little bit of, just a little bit of vinegar in there. That'll help preserve it and keep it good. Which if you made homemade dye, like out of from like walnuts falling from a tree or anything like that, add a little bit of vinegar to that too. And normally I've got my blade taped up just to help keep it clean. So, but I've run out of tape, so I ain't got nothing to put on it. So I'm gonna be careful, try not to get anything on the blade, or I've been trying to be careful not to get anything on the blade to have to clean it off. But I take that bold linseed oil and I put it on there with my fingers. I'll just rub it around, rub it in there. And it don't take half bottle to get it done. It's just enough to get it covered real good. Make sure I get every little spot. Now if I wanted that to be a little bit brighter of a yellow, I could have took some of that fine grit sandpaper and just went over it real gently, and that probably would have brightened it up some. So now that I got that on there, I'm gonna open up the vise, stick it down in my cloth there, and I'm gonna let it dry. Once it dries, then I'll come back and I'll put a coat of that true oil on it. Alright, now since the boiled linseed's done drying, I'm gonna put this true oil on it, bring the shine back out. And just like how I did with the boiled linseed, we'll use my finger, put that on. It'll give it a really good look whenever it dries. We'll make sure I keep it good and smooth also. Now, stick it back in there. Make sure it's not collecting up, running down and collecting up somewhere. And now let that sit there and dry. So while I'm waiting for that handle to dry, I decided to go get the vegetables out of the garden before they all died. Now, that's what that is. That's vegetables. That's my chili pepper plants. So, see how big them chili peppers are. Now, wanted to show that before everybody seen that video want to know what is that sitting hanging back here in back that building. Oh, it's chili pepper plants. I'm gonna dry them out. Make me some chili powder. So now I've got this trailing point knife finished up. Handles dried on it. I've got it sharpened up. This knife is done, completed. Let's see how close I came to getting it like his picture. There's his picture he drew. There's the knife. Now right here he's got, looks like a bolster right here on the back. But whenever he gave me this, he told me he didn't want the bolster on the back. So let's lay this over the picture. Looks pretty close.